Okay. Take the third sprint burner off. Hello. How are we? Hopefully we are doing good. Hopefully we are ready to maybe get some stuff done and or reset for middle of the week. However, we need that. Today sort of has felt like the beginning of today has felt like a low energy day, but I have knocked a couple things off of my to-do list. So, like, hopefully that will give me the motivation to keep going and knocking off things from the to-do list. But I have at least done a couple of things today already. So, I'm hoping that that trend will continue. Let's see. I mean, I don't have any like super. It's raining today, but it's warmer, which is nice because it has been cold for quite some time. So today we are a little bit warmer. Yesterday was a little bit warmer too. So then we'll have a couple days that are a little colder, but not quite as cold as last week. So I think we have begun the slow late winter warm up, which is nice. Monique says, hey y'all. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Kagehime is here. Hello. Hello, hello. Monique says, you're currently watching Critical Role. I'm so behind on Critical Role and watching a friend make art on Discord. Nice. What kind of art? Are we talking like painting, sculpture, fiber arts? Like what kind of art? Laura is here. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, hello. Welcome. What are you up to today? Monique says, on Monday, you checked out the new Barnes & Noble that opened. Ooh, rip your wallet. Yeah. 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 R.I.P. the money is indeed. You have a meeting. Ooh, Laura has a meeting with a critique partner in 2 hours. Ooh, nice. Hope it goes well. Hopefully they have both good things to say and reasonable critiques to give you. Yes. Maybe you should get presentable. Well, if you're doing it like face-to-face over Zoom or FaceTime or Discord or whatever, if you're doing it face-to-face, at least the upper half, right? But yeah, if you want to put on the full armor of like getting yourself ready and having that process, yes. Monique applied for a remote assistant job for a PR firm that works with authors. Ooh, nice. I like it. Hopefully, things will go well. Kara says, you pulled from the Enchanted Map deck. It's Moonlight, number 51. Your intuition allows you to see beyond the mundane, logical, and analytical, so follow it. Nice. Laura says, my hair needs a ton of help. That's why my hair is in a bun today, because it was not behaving. So just slick it back. I feel like yours may be a little bit. Yours is curlier, so yours probably needs a little bit more attention than mine to like do the slick back. But on the other hand, if you have good, strong, big scrunchies, maybe not. Your friend makes fan art for Baldur's Gate 3. Nice. Excellent. You got the nicest rejection ever for a flash fiction. It made it to the final round. Ooh, very nice. Progress. Excellent. I'm glad. I'm glad it made it to the final round. And that will just give you more fuel for getting better. Yes. It's going to be a video call. Gotcha. Yeah. So at least face the classical bust up, right? Needs to be presentable for the meetup. Gotcha. Yes. Elizabeth says hello. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Monique says also for this month that you have been junk journaling. Nice. I've seen one thing that I think is pretty cute. And I suppose I actually do have something that I could do that with. So I've seen somebody who junk journals, but they are doing like very small snippets of things like per day. And so they're making a calendar out of the small snippets of things. And so they have like a die cut thing. So how do I? So like one of the things where you like press down and it cuts, but these are just for corners, but this one has like a little postage stamp edge. And so you like whatever you're working with that day that's colorful or cute, you like cut out a piece of that and then glue it in your journal. And it makes a little cute calendar. So I've seen things like that are pretty cute. And I have my mom has, and I borrow it's like a gift tag cut out. So it's kind of like, it's got the little roundy bit at the top and then like a rounded edged rectangle. So I could use that, but it's kind of large. So it wouldn't be great for one a day, but it might be nice for like once a week or something. You'll be promoting stuff today. Excellent. Good. Laura says, I wrote a flash fiction and a short story yesterday. Ooh, busy. And worked on chapter 4 of your Dark Academia and beta read 24 pages. So yeah, lots of progress. Absolutely. That's fantastic. Monique has been posting your junk journaling stuff on your Instagram story. It will be a reel by the time that March comes around. Gotcha. Yes, I like it. Goodness gracious, my voice is like all kinds of scratchy for the last week and a half. Maybe more. But yeah. Monique says, I'm very thankful that I took a workshop about social media content a few days ago. Yes. Yes. I like it. Okay. It's for neurodivergent and queer content creators. Nice. Because there are a lot of us, right? For sure. Okay. Let's get busy. We've got cat calendar that needs to be attended to. We got Tuesdays and today's. If I can peel just today's and not tomorrow's, that'd be good. Okay, so Tuesdays, yoga pose, downward dog, great move, but not the feline name. Not feeling the name. Okay, there we go. That's the pun. But we have a kitty in the sun, getting a good stretch. And then we have, to release stress, the Department of Health and Feline Services recommends daily skulking. You can just barely see the toe beans or a little white patch. I think it's toe beans. The toe beans give the void away. Oh no. Let's see. Laura says, I should eat breakfast and take meds. I made myself a little English McMuffin thing. It was better than a McMuffin. So we had little sausage links. So I cooked 2 of those and then fried an egg and then had it on an English muffin. So it was good. It was tasty. It was something. And I didn't want leftovers, even though we have plenty of leftovers in the fridge. So that's what I made myself for lunch. Let's see. Should eat breakfast and take meds. Yes. Most importantly, she kept me company until you could finally go to bed. Did I miss it? Fahim, I think I'm missing some context here. Are you talking about your kitty? Do you have a cat? Today we have the lizard for our poll. Number 38. Laura is celebrating the Tobians. 38. There we go. So, dream the world into being. We have our lizard that has the leaf vine wings, becoming a little dragon. When was the last time you basked in the sun and allowed yourself to daydream, to imagine what might be and who you might become? The lizard appears when you are called to let your imagination flow and dream something new. Inspiration is available to you now if you are willing to slow down and let your eyes close a little, allowing ideas to dance in your head. What might come into being if you are to pursue your dream? How might you grow and expand if you allow yourself to dare to believe in the impossible, making it possible first in your dreaming mind and then in the world as you create it with the universe? Give in to the power of imagination, and soon your dream will become clearer. The steps will reveal themselves, and what was ephemeral will begin to coalesce into physical form. Dream it and be it. The spirit asks you to dare to dream big. Yay! I think one of my light bulbs in my ceiling fan is on the fritz because they keep flickering. Laura streamed yesterday for 8 hours and you managed to finish editing the novella during that time. Yay! So Laura was keeping you company. Gotcha. Excellent. Laura says, yay to Kagehime as well. Yes. Good job. For both of you. I do have a little bit of work in the bullet journal. It's so pretty. Like every time I see it, it's so pretty. Both of my journals. Anyway, so I have a little bit of work in the bullet journal for today, and then I should be editing today. Honestly, I've been avoiding some of my editing sessions. So let me go ahead and pull up the document that I need to edit. Don't want to. I'd rather draft, but I need to edit. So, okay. A masterwork by the title Her Boyfriend's Father. It's about a de facto single mom and her baby daddy's dad. Monique is also going to update your Bujo. Nice. Right now you're stuck on your Drama of the Undead line. Okay, so are you going to do something different, or are you going to stick with it and see if you can break past the sticking point? Let me pull up a timer. We had the cat doing the yoga pose, so we should probably do the cat yoga, one of the cat yogas. Let's do the 25 one to start, because it does have the downward facing dog semblance of a pose. Okay. Monique says, well, I wanted to ask how I can add more to the plot. Think you have the main plot down. Okay. So then you need to go back through your main characters and think of their character arc, their character development arc, and what needs to be, what points those need to have and where those should happen. So if you've got the main action plot down and you have your main character development plots down, is there a romance arc that you want or a comedic arc that you want, that kind of thing. So you have to look through all of your plot arcs. You have 19 chapters outlined. Nice. That's great. Laura says, you're eating breakfast in the background. It's so warm out here. It's 49 degrees Fahrenheit here. So warming, not warm, but warming. Okay. Let's do this. 1, save your document or pull up whichever document you're going to work on. Oops, I did not mean to make that full screen. 2 is make sure that you have something to hydrate with. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 25 minutes. And, oh, don't forget to answer the poll is the other thing. So 25 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, let's see. How'd we do? I am editing. I'm on, I think, the third page, going bit by bit. So yeah, making progress. I don't know how much I've changed. Doesn't feel like a whole lot, but I'm at least in the process. Okay. It says it's already 75. Nice. Kara says you're going to be attending the EDA in the solution writing meeting during the stream. Gotcha. You don't have to have an active manifestation of an eating disorder to benefit from the meetings you started attending to address the body image issues and self-loathing that you've dealt with forever. I'm glad that it is helpful then. So that's good. Monique says, I pulled the Knight of Wands inverted. It fits your mood. Gotcha. You did start a section in your outline for subplots. Excellent. Good. 117 words so far. Fantastic. Good. Good. Progress. I did spend a little bit of time. Goodness gracious. Sorry. In my journal. It is definitely, like, I don't know if you can tell. I think it's beginning to curve, which doesn't make an enormous amount of sense to me because I think by the time I'm done, maybe that curve will be straightened out because I do tend to put more decorations on the edges rather than in the middle next to the spine. So maybe that will eventually correct itself. But yeah, I am enjoying the pretty stickers and things for this month. It's very pretty. I like it. Anyway. I've been trying to work through my physical TBR, and so I have a couple of things that are like anthologies or collections, and I've been trying to make my way through the entire book, but like really I bought it for one author in particular, the Nalini Singh, and so I think I may just have to read her story and decide if I want to like slog my way through the rest, because apparently my brain is not like sticking. It's not sticking to the rest of them. And decide if I want to keep it or unhaul it based on just her story, which is what I bought it for. So at some point I will figure that out. And then I will move on to a different TBR. I've got some V.E. Schwab that I have been intending to read for a really long time. And so I should probably read one of those. I've got Wool from Hugh Howley, because I've not actually read that before and I wanted to. So from the Silo series. I've got a duology that hopefully will be good. I bought both books because it was supposed to be. Anyway, so I've got a bunch of things like that on my TBR, and I'm like, I should really just move on to the next thing if this particular book is not keeping me. Anyway, I guess I'm just not in the mood to read certain, because this one's a holiday thing, and I meant to read it during the holidays, and I didn't. So now I'm like, it's not the right time, but I should just read it anyway. Anywho, we have done the farting kitty, one of the farting kitties. Let's go ahead and do her morning one. Also, our neighbor had an appliance delivered of some sort. I heard a big truck rumble up, and I was like, what is that? So I was nosy and like peeked out, but it looks like it's just an appliance that they have purchased and had delivered Um, and then also we have another neighbor that apparently has plenty of time to leaf blow everything in their yard, despite nothing new being in the yard because it's winter. Anyway, the poll for today is, what would your main character do at a cabin? Would they encounter the paranormal? Would they enjoy a vacation? Would they be living a hermit life and that just be their domicile? Or would they get snowed in? What kind of things would your main character be doing? And so, yeah, I guess you could also say supernatural for encountering the paranormal or supernatural. So maybe ghosties, maybe werewolves, who knows? Something not human. But yeah, so that's the poll for today. Is what would your main character be doing at a cabin? And the second sprint is going to be the self promo sprint. So make sure that if you have something you want to share, please do so during the second sprint. But let's go ahead and get started. So 1, save your document. 2, make sure you have something to sip. Cheers. Susie would treat the cabin as a vacation home, especially if it was on a mountain. Gotcha. 3 is straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is, if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. How'd we do? I think I'm on page like 6, maybe close to 7. Yeah, somewhere in that realm. How'd you do? How did you do? We have some self promo. Don't forget to pop that in the chat. Also, don't forget to answer the poll if you have not already done so. Monique has a post on Blue Sky, so here's the link to that, as well as the latest post on Instagram. Kara says, I have new book promos and an Insecure Writers Support Group post up on Reader's Roost. There's the link for that. Here's Pascal Nicola saying, hey guys, hello, welcome. Welcome. How we doing? I feel like I'm into the editing brain now. So if I wanted to switch projects, it would take me a while to adjust. So I think I'll continue to do editing for this next sprint. I feel like maybe I've added a couple hundred words, maybe, if that. Not a whole lot added. So, but yeah, that's how we're doing. Okay, also very yawny today, apparently. Let's scroll this down to the 30 mark, or around the 30 mark. Okay, fantastic. Don't forget, next week is the For the Love of Words. Is that? No, sorry. Next week is For the Love of Words is the February challenge that Kat is running, and next week is the under 1K subs authortube and booktube marathon. That's what's next week. There we go. That's the brain. You're going over your manuscript before sending it over to the critique partner. Excellent. Good. One last pass, right? One last, did I fix these things, or leaving questions for your critique partner in the margins, that kind of thing. Okay, let's do the next sprint. And I might go to the kitchen and get myself a mug of tea just to perk myself up a bit. Still mostly avoiding caffeine, but if I do like a low calf something, that might be okay. Diane is here. Hello, welcome. All right, let's do our third sprint. 1, save your document. 2, make sure you have something to sip on. Cheers. JK is here. Hello. Happy Black History Month to your fellow Black authors, friends, and creatives. Happy Black History Month to you as well. Reminder to support us all day, every day, not just during February. Yes. Okay, so save, sip, straighten your spine, or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. And 4 is if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. That was the end of that sprint. I'm on page 10. So I managed to get through 9 full pages and working on the 10th for editing. Not great, but I'll take it. So, a couple hundred words added, a couple hundred words deleted. Me, probably about even. But I think they are better words this time. So that's good. Here is JK's latest author newsletter. Winter Words, Warm Hearts, Cozy Update. So there you go. Make sure you visit JK's link. Funky made it here for the finale. Excellent. JK's Coffee Novel Fund Me goal to donate so that JK can self-publish Project Sugar and Spice. Here's the link for that. Kara says, I swear I'm hitting all the wrong keys all over the place. You got about 600 words written during the EDA recovery writing meeting. Yeah, so I know that I have to do something with my nails. I either have to file them and shape them, or I need to trim them because they are getting wrong and hitting the wrong keys. I don't normally leave them this long. Like, they do grow relatively. My thumbs are a decent amount of white in terms of getting the past the fingertip. So I either have to decide to file them and shape them and leave them long, or trim them. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably just going to trim them. But yeah, my typos exponentially increase when I have my nails about this length or longer. So generally, I just choose to trim them because I type with the pads of my pads and I guess the tips of my fingers. So long nails typically interfere with that. Diane says, we are kicking booty. Art brought in from Explorer, and we installed a new shower head. Yay! No more dribble shower. Excellent. So is this in the old or the new house? Is this in the new house? Right? New house. Excellent. Yes, we do not want a dribble shower in the new house. So yay. Excellent. Good. Good, good. Kara says, no long nails here, just be sure, just flubbing. Yeah, some days are like that. Some days we just have days that our fingers are not cooperating. And yeah. Diane is sitting at the desk, kind of organized in the middle of unpacked boxes. Excellent. Good. So are y'all just like trying to unpack as much as you can in a day, or are you doing like a section at a time in between life? How are you approaching the end of the move, I guess I should say. The sprint motivated you to go unload art. You've been dreading it for some reason, but it'll look great once it's up on your walls. At least it's now in-house. It may not be up on your walls yet, but you can begin to sort of see the art in the new space, which is nice. We still have things to bring over from the old house and to clean it. We took a week's vacation thinking, oh yeah, definitely. Because that was when we moved from our last house to this house was empty. So we were able to bring everything over. And then Mom and I went and we spent at least 3 or 4 days in the old house, cleaning and painting and like wrapping up odds and ends there. Most of the work we did was actually upstairs. And then we hired someone to paint the garage because my dad was a smoker for many, many years. But he always smoked in the garage. So we washed the garage first and then bought the paint, and then the guy came over to paint the garage. So yeah, and then we had another situation where we had a contract, and then the house inspector went over and then called to let us know that a pipe had burst from the upstairs, like leaking down into the downstairs, and so we had water everywhere downstairs. So we then had to go back over and contact mold, like water mitigation people, house insurance, all that kind of stuff. Then we had to go pick out flooring to be replaced and everything. So the downstairs got a facelift. But yeah, we hired movers for heavy items. Yeah, absolutely. They mixed up some things and are still trying to find the kitchen stove burner covers. Ooh, hoping that it's in a box in the garage. Gotcha. Going into the garage at the new house is next on the list. Haven't been in since they put the things there on Saturday. Gotcha. Yeah, hiring movers may be the best thing. Yes, agreed. Because their whole goal is to pack it in a box and get it on the truck. You know, furniture and stuff, everything. So hiring good movers is an excellent move when that option is available. Because it saves your back, saves you time, because usually it's a multiple person crew. And yeah. Diane says funky. Yeah, water damage does not sound fun. No, it wasn't. I mean, we had old carpet, so they just ripped that up and all the padding underneath it and everything. And so it was not, thankfully, the water had been leaking just overnight, the night before the inspector went in, essentially, from what we could tell. And he went in pretty early in the morning, like at 9 a.m. or something. So thankfully, while there was a good amount of water there, it was not soaked into like the subflooring or any of that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So, some of the painting we did had to be repainted anyway. But we had the house insurance crew, the water mitigation crews, I should say, did the work for us. So, and it was a high of 18 degrees Fahrenheit and icy snow the day they moved things over. Oh goodness, yeah. We could have probably rounded up folks, but yeah, I'm very glad you hired somebody. And you have your chicken back on the desk. Excellent. Yay. Good. Good. Okay. Let's do the poll. The poll is, what would the main character do at a cabin? We do have a pretty clear winner. So yeah. What is the main character doing in a cabin? 50% of our main characters are enjoying a vacation. 33% of our main characters are encountering the paranormal. 17% are living their own hermit life, and none of them are getting snowed in, which is kind of nice for our main characters. Funky says, oh dear Lord, the idea of moving in 18-degree weather gives me the chills. Yes. Hiring movers is not cheap. No, yeah. If you can afford it, and if that is an option available, it is usually worth the money. Say usually, because there are some people that are either not good, not honest, or yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But most of the time, they're very good. It's not cheap, but man, is it worth it? Yeah. When you get a good company, it's definitely worth it. And so, when at all possible, talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends and family that have used moving crews. Look at the reviews, all that kind of good stuff. And if you had a good or a bad experience, make sure you tell people about it, because that will help people. So, Diane says, as one of the things to move was your very, very heavy desk. Yeah, you really didn't want to give it up. One of the old vintage typewriters desks that's solid wood. Yeah, yeah. My grandfather, my maternal grandfather, had one of those solid, like, executive lawyer desks because he was a lawyer. Um, yeah, like, it weighed a ton, weighed just an enormous amount of weight, and it was a great desk, but once you put it into place, you couldn't move it. It was gonna live where it was. You had to have, like, a team of 4 people to move it. So, yeah, it was just heavy, heavy, heavy. The main guy was amazing, but there seemed to be a lack of communication between them on what stayed or went. You should have used Post-it notes. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that was, when we moved here, everything that I was gonna use at our, like, week that we were staying, I put in my closet and just put a note on the closet door that said, "Everything in closet stays." Um, Other than that, we had some things in boxes already, and totes and things like that. Um, but yeah, so it was it was good. There was some confusion, I will say, because of the way that they had written the form, um, of like how many boxes would be moved. But the way that it was phrased was like, how many boxes do you think you we thought it was how many boxes additional, like just broken down boxes, do the movers need to bring? And we were like, I don't know, maybe like 20 more. Because we had boxes. We had plenty of boxes, we had plenty of totes. But what they meant was how many boxes are going to be in the truck at the end. So we had way more than 20. So there was a miscommunication with that. But it was like weird. It was worded weirdly on their form. So it was, and they admitted that they had trouble a lot of times with that. And I was like, well, if you know that that's a sticking point, rewrite the form. Anyway, but the desk fits perfectly where you want it, exactly where it will live. Excellent. Good. We had 90% of everything already in boxes and totes. Yeah, which is great because you'd have had the chance to go through and declutter some, organize to like, this is going to go in the kitchen, this is going to go in bedroom 1, this is going to go in bathroom 1, this is going to, that kind of thing. So still took them about 5 hours to pack the truck and unpack and move a mile away. Yeah. Well, at least it wasn't a long drive as well, because it was a long day, a very long day. And I think they set up our beds for us is like the last thing they did, which was fantastic because otherwise we'd have been sleeping on mattresses on the floor. But yeah, they left after midnight, so it was a really long day. You would think we would have decluttered somewhat. Look at the piles of boxes that you need to donate. Yeah, it happens. It happens. You just get caught up in that. Well, I'll deal with it later. We're clearing my parents' house to sell. That accumulated a lot of stuff. You have trouble getting rid of a lot of things, so it's been very stressful. Yeah, it's very stressful when it's things that have sentiments of value, things that you don't necessarily have room for, but you have memories of. So yeah. Yeah. So this is something that the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning talks about. Just sort of like the idea of you, as you get older, you should begin to talk to people of like, hey, do you want this? Take it now. Or donating or marking what's going to who, but getting rid of other clutter things that people aren't going to want to keep, essentially, or will be of no use. So, but anyway, it's kind of a good thought, but kind of a like weird existential thought as well. You wound up donating a lot of things. Great. Salvation Army will pick up too if that works. Yeah, there are quite a few thrift stores that, or there are some thrift stores, I should say. Habitat for Humanity, their restores where they sell things to fund the Habitat for Humanity thing. They will pick up furniture if you contact them ahead of time and take pictures, and so that you can see that like the quality is decent. They'll schedule pickups. So if you have a Habitat for Humanity resource somewhere in your vicinity, they do offer that as an option. And then there's usually Salvation Army is great. There are often thrift stores and charitable stores that essentially are funding women and children who have escaped abusive homes, abusive situations, that need a new start in life. And so there's usually in sort of like this medium to bigger towns, there's usually at least one of those in a town. And if there isn't one, there's usually some sort of church funded something that helps with those kind of situations. So always good. That was one of the things that because my mom had lots of suits that she used to wear when she was at Delta. And so when she decided she was going to get rid of them, we donated them to the Blessings thrift shop, which was a church run thrift shop, but it was specifically for women who were starting over after domestic situations. And they have the general thrift store, but then they also have like a section that they put things for the women who need a new suit for a job, or they need a new computer and somebody has donated, a laptop or tower or whatever. So that was so we always hunt out that kind of thing. So we don't have one around here, but you do have a good thrift store that you can take things to, which is always nice. We're so in the boonies that it's a couple of hours to a Habitat for Humanity. Yeah, that is that they are generally only in medium to larger size towns. So moving is a good time to get rid of stuff. Yes. Intentionally, not necessarily like falling off the truck. Your brother's going to be here at the end of the month. He's bringing 2 friends and a U-Haul, so that should help. Yes. You're going through things again as we unpack, but I think we need to go through again. We have a safe harbor for domestic abuse survivors in one town over. Good thought. Yes. Yes. Your mother's friend and neighbor is going to be doing a second estate sale. She already did one. Yeah. I mean, it helps. When your sister passed, she had some great furniture that none of us needed. After family and friends took what they wanted, we had a garage sale and just wound up giving it away. Yeah. Yeah. There's always Facebook Marketplace too. Sometimes that is a good option. So, all righty, y'all. I think I will go and take a break and walk around and sort of stretch. And I'm not sure if I'll do more editing today or if I will try and switch brain gears and do some writing. But yeah. So thanks for working with me. Thanks for getting some of your own stuff done. And I will hopefully see y'all on Friday. So don't forget to save. Bye.